Hey everyone, Tamir is here and I'm back after a full month of not recording. I am fresh and ready after the holidays to bring you some analysis. I'm glad to be here to share mindsets, disciplines, news, and tips. Today we're diving into Ford versus Tesla for 2026. We'll evaluate 2025. We'll cover fundamentals, PE ratios, news, tips, horizons, dividends, perks, sentiments, earnings, and valuations. And I'll let you know at the end of the video which one I'm bullish on in 2026, and we'll figure out which one suits you as an investor. Let's keep this under 8 minutes and let's get started.
I don't need recognition. I'm on a mission. I'm paying dues. I'm in position.
The basic conversation here is growth versus value. So let's cover the first section of our evaluation here, fundamentals and profits to earning ratio perspective. So for Tesla, we have about a $1.4 trillion company versus a smaller $54 billion company for Ford. The PE ratio for Tesla is extremely high, above 265 right now with highs as high as 300. And Ford is sitting, closer to $14 with lows of 11.5. So that floats a much different conversation as far as value goes. With debt to equity, Tesla is 0.1 and Ford is 3.5. So there's a much higher debt to equity with Ford than there is with Tesla. As far as profit margins go, Ford has around a 3% net and Tesla has around a 5% net. So, a lot of conversation there. Tesla's sky high PE ratio shows investor hype about future tech, but it's pricey, trading at a 265 ratio to earnings. Ford's PE screams value, appealing to conservative investors seeking stability. If you're risk averse, Ford looks like a bargain. If you're betting on disruption, Tesla's premiums might pay off. Now, I really wanted to go all out and get back into videos that have, cool pictures of the Tesla robots and everything. But now that I'm getting back into the swing, I just want to stick to the meat and potatoes. As far as the horizon for 2026 with Tesla, we all know the drill. I've covered this before. You got robo-taxi FSDs hitting the market. You got their whole robot fleet they're looking to push out there. Their cars alone are a big market that's growing. And then you have, on top of that, the massive battery market that they have year over year continuing to grow. The reason why the PE ratio for Tesla is so high is because they have so many different avenues, semis, all different things that are ready to hit the market, but has to perform to really turn into value. Looking at AI growth is a big time thing for Tesla versus Ford. As far as Tesla, we're betting on AI and autonomy, expecting 8% plus delivery growth to 1.8 to 2 million units. They're launching the lower cost model H1. We got robo-taxi scaling coming in, potentially worth trillions long term, and the energy storage business. So analysts see revenue rebounding 97 to 110 billion and going up much more per earnings per share. High reward if self-driving hits, right? So we get that, we're going to have high rewards. So anyone that's betting on that is betting on the growth of Tesla. Ford, focusing on profitability, its EVs finally are expected to turn profitable in 2026. They haven't been just yet. Their hybrids are expanding. The Ford Pro driving brought in 15 billion plus revenue, and new battery storage business and tariff navigation show much upside for the pro-America administration right now for Ford. So Ford is looking really good as far as the horizon, and Tesla could be looking really good if these technologies hit. The first one that needs to prove itself right now is FSD, hitting the market, growing, and subscriptions. So Tesla's explosive and risky, and Ford is reliability and steady. Its growth is very, very steady. As far as dividends and other perks go, Ford income matters, right? Ford pays a solid quarterly dividend of 15 cents a share, yielding about 4.5% right now. I've been calling this out since Ford was 6% dividend. I kick myself in the foot for not getting in a bigger position. But I'm thinking now it doesn't really matter. I think Ford has a big horizon. If I want to expand my position on it, I will. It's great for passive income with special payouts as a possibility. Tesla doesn't give you any dividends. They reinvest everything into growth. So it's a highly different structure. In 2026, though, we have on the horizon a lot of technologies coming out for Tesla. There are perks discussed as far as potential Starlink IPO being available to Tesla investors first. Not sure if that's going to play out or if it's just a rumor, but it's moving the stock. With the noise, it's getting some buzz. If you're a Tesla owner, you get benefits like supercharger access. If you're a Ford owner, you'll get the Blue Cruise hands-free stuff going on and driving perks, and they have strong resale on their trucks. So each one of them, from a car owner perspective, has its perks as well. If you want cash flow, Ford wins. If you want capital appreciation and you're willing to bet on the speculation of the future tech, then you got Tesla. But as far as dividends go and steady growth, Ford really takes the cake. Now, I want to talk about Ford on another angle first for a minute, because it outperformed the S&P 500. It was also a growth stock in a way. The S&P 500 moves higher because it has massive speculative growth stocks that actually perform. NVIDIA, Google, Apple, Meta, Microsoft. These are all Amazon. These are all high-performing names. Tesla being, I'd say, the least of the performers that we use day to day, and it's growing because we're integrating their technology more and more. So if FSD hits, I could see it boosting up. Musk does all this without spending pretty much any advertising dollars, which is pretty unbelievable. But he also has a big platform of X, where every time he talks, it advertises. So you have to take that into consideration with how Tesla's growth happens, and it's got the cool factor, right? But from a perspective of dividends and actual physical perks that you get right now, not speculative, Ford takes the cake. With sentiment, news, earnings, and valuations, well, Tesla's sentiment is mixed, down 25% recently with Musk's policies. It was, up post-election. It was, investors were looking at it like 2025 pain for 2026 gain. Ford's got nothing but bullish headlines. Piper Sandler calls it a top pick for 2026 with an 18+% upside, which outperforms most S&P years. Tesla's Q4 2025, results are going to come out tonight, tomorrow. Wait, today's Wednesday. Today, sorry, I'm losing track of this week, right? We have earnings. So we're going to see it. We're going to see what they came out with, what's going on. That's going to move the stock a lot. It's expected to be down. So we'll see if it, meets expectations, goes down more, or if it's not as down and it's exciting for investors. We'll see some new developments or things they want to talk about, some revenue and projections and numbers, and that'll determine a lot for Tesla in the short term. Ford's very undervalued at its PE ratio, at a stock price of $13.50 to $14. It's very undervalued. There's valuations taking Ford up to $19 a share by the end of this year. If you looked at early 2025, I got to read this part. If you look at early 2025 to now, to late January, and you're comparing, 2025 to 2026 with Ford and Tesla. So Tesla went up approximately 8%. If it closed out at its all-time high for the year, it would be somewhere around 22%. Ford outperformed the S&P 500 and came in at over 30% for 2025. And if you again took the high price, it would be over 40%. At the highs, Ford doubled Tesla. At where it ended up, Ford quadrupled Tesla. So something to think about. I wouldn't day trade Ford so much, right? Because it moves slowly and steady and methodically. Sometimes it has little swings. But Tesla, I day trade because it has big moves. I trade it up, I trade it down. It's got high volatility. They're two very different names when it comes to that. But when we're talking about future valuations, Tesla has to prove FSD hitting the market. We got to see some robots. I'm dying to buy a robot. If these things fizzle out like Meta's virtual world that we were all going to live in, then the stock will fizzle too. And it'll take some technology to push it up. Ford is steadily growing. Maybe by the end of 2026, they'll be a competitor in the EV market. They'll still have their trucks. They'll have an America First policy, and they'll be giving a dividend. Pretty exciting stuff. Slow and steady, old reliable. If you go off of the high prices again, Ford outperformed Tesla. Now, which one's right for me? I'll tell you. Told you at the end of the video, I tell you what I'd invest in. I'm invested in both. I'm invested in Ford long-term. It's in my long-term portfolio. It yields dividends and it grows and I add to the position. I used to have Ford Leaps. I may pick up another position again. I don't have them anymore. But Tesla, I trade weekly. I'm in and out. 50% of my position is gone at times. And I put it back in depending on if the stock's up or down. I want to ride it up and down. Long term, I have Tesla in my portfolio also. I personally believe that Elon Musk performs almost all the time. I love the technology that he's involved in. He's in the right trend. He's got the cool factor. He's got the administration in his corner. He works with everybody. He's a brilliant guy, and he has a platform X to put his stuff out there. He has a track record personally of performing and hitting targets. And so for me, I like Tesla a lot. Even though I had acknowledged that speculatively there's a lot on the horizon, I see it actually working in real time. Just like you use your iPhone and you can say, well, Apple is not going out of business. I'm using this thing every day. I see Tesla reaching the same level and integrating their technologies on a day-to-day basis with more people. Musk, in order to hit his first level of compensation in his multi-tiered compensation plan for $1 trillion, needs to get the stock to a $2 trillion level, which will ultimately bring it to a price of $627 a share, if I did my math right. So that's my target, because I believe he'll at least hit the first level. I don't go off of belief. I want to see, for moves of entry and exits, I want to see what the stock's doing. I think Tesla usually runs up. It runs down like a few days, and then it runs up right before earnings. So I expect an update today. I'm not sure. That's just what it's done in the past. We're going to see how it performs. If it does better than what was expected, I see Tesla hitting the $458 mark. If it fails, that it stays in bear territory. In my opinion, until it exceeds 458, it's not in bull territory. But which investment is right for you? Please comment in the section below. Let me know. Are you a Ford investor? Are you a Tesla investor? Do you like value? Do you like growth? Do you like both? Do you consider Ford to be potentially a growth play as well, because it has such a huge uptick? I'd love to hear you in the comment section below. Please join me for this and future videos. I'm back. Glad to be here. Have a great day. Invest safely, everyone.
Recognition, I'm on a mission.